What's good, y'all? Many people will call the NBA a star-driven league, and honestly, I probably would agree with them. When you look at the media narratives and the coverage of the game, a lot of it is surrounded around the stars. When you look at the end of the game, who has the ball in their hands, it's going to be the stars. Coming up, we have All-Star break, which is obviously a whole weekend focused around the stars of the game. But in today's video, I wanted to take a step back and talk about one of the most impactful role players in the NBA, because I do think role players are really what sets a good team apart from a great team. And in this video, of course, I want to talk about Mitchell Robinson of the New York Knicks, because in my opinion, he is one of, if not the absolute most valuable role player in the league. And as a Knicks fan, it's been a great experience watching him grow as a player. He came into the league as a second-round pick, and now he has blossomed into the player he is today. And before I get into Mitchell Robinson as the player he is today and talking about all of that, I do want to just give a quick history of Mitchell Robinson and all he's done to become the longest tenured Knick now. I did mention he was a second-round pick, drafted 36th overall back in 2018. He came into the league super skinny, super foul-prone. He didn't play any college basketball, so he was a very raw guy. Despite all of that, though, he ended up making all-rookie team, and he was one of the only bright spots on that 2018 New York Knicks team because they won only 17 games. And he really just continued to grow as a dirty work center, building off his great rookie season. He just continued to rebound, defend, roll to the rim. In his second year, he set the NBA record for highest field goal percentage in a season. It was Wilt Chamberlain's record. Now it is Mitchell Robinson's record. He shot 74% from the field that year. Then after 2 solid seasons under his belt, Mitchell Robinson was the starting center for the Knicks going into the 2020-2021 season. And this was the year the Knicks finally returned to the playoffs under Tom Thibodeau and Julius Randle. They also had an incredible defense that year. A big part of that was Mitchell Robinson while he was on the court, though, because unfortunately he only played 31 games this year. He fractured his hand and had to be shut down for the rest of the season and did miss the playoffs. The Knicks ultimately got upset by the Atlanta Hawks in the first round, and they got eliminated in just 5 games. This is just one of many hiccups Mitchell Robinson came across in his early career. He ended up having a full offseason to recover, came into the year healthy, and ended up having a pretty solid bounce-back year, playing a career-high 72 games the year after that. The Knicks themselves, they didn't really look good that year. That was a big down year for them. But Mitchell Robinson, as a player, he looked healthy, he looked good, and continued to grow. Now we move to the 2022-2023 season, and this is when Jalen Brunson signs to the New York Knicks and elevates them to a whole nother level where they are now a perennial playoff team. And after 5 seasons, Mitchell Robinson finally will be able to make his playoff debut. Of course, in the first round, the Knicks were versing the Cavs, and they were the underdogs in this series, but when you look and watch that series, they absolutely outworked the Cavs almost every single game, ending up beating them in 5 games as the underdog, and a huge part of that was because of Mitchell Robinson. This was the series where that big Jared Allen quote came around where he said, I don't know, maybe the lights were too bright. That he said that because of Mitchell Robinson's dominance that series. He wasn't just dominating Jared Allen, though. Evan Mobley got his fair share in those double big lineups. And Mitchell Robinson, to read off his stats, in just 28 minutes per game in that series versus the Cavs, he averaged 8 points per game, 10 rebounds, 6 of them being offensive, a steal, and 2 blocks per game. Again, in just 28 minutes a game. Crazy production. He also had a really good closeout Game 5 to secure the series win for the New York Knicks, putting up 13 points, 18 rebounds, with 11 of them being offensive. 11 offensive rebounds in a game is just insane, especially a playoff game. Mitchell Robinson does that, though. He also had 2 steals, 3 blocks, and again was one of the main factors of the Cavs losing to the New York Knicks. I would say that Mitch was the best player on the Knicks in that series. I know they have Jalen Brunson and everything, but the impact Mitchell Robinson had cannot be understated. And just as Mitchell Robinson is reaching new highs in his career after a crazy playoff debut, the season after that, he goes and fractures his left ankle and misses 50 games. After surgery and rehab, Mitchell Robinson was able to make it back to the lineup for the Knicks just in time for the playoffs. They had a first-round matchup versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and here again, Mitchell Robinson showed his immense playoff value. The numbers weren't as eye-popping as they were versus the Cavs, but Mitchell Robinson showed his value mainly in his defense versus Joel Embiid. He was absolutely incredible in the first 2 games and allowed the Knicks to make a 2-0 lead versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And that's kind of where things went downhill again for Mitchell Robinson, because unfortunately in that game 3, Joel Embiid had a very, I'm going to just come out and say it, very dirty play. He was frustrated, and as he's on the ground, Mitchell Robinson's going up for a rebound, and Joel Embiid grabs his ankle and pulls him to the ground. That same ankle he grabbed was the same ankle that Mitchell Robinson just had to get surgery, and he just missed 50 games for. And Robinson ended up having to leave that game, obviously. He missed another game, came back to the lineup for a few more, but didn't really look as healthy as he did, obviously. He ended up getting shut down in game 1 of the second round for the Knicks and had to get a second surgery that offseason on that same ankle. And now seeing the incredible value that Mitchell Robinson brings to the Knicks in the playoffs in back-to-back years, the Knicks were incredibly cautious with his return this year. So after having to get 2 ankle surgeries on the same ankle, Mitchell Robinson came in and only played 17 games, obviously a career low for him in that next coming season. But it ended up working out because they were super cautious throughout the regular season, and that allowed Mitchell Robinson to be healthy for the playoffs, where again, he showed his value. He was a big part of the Knicks coming off the bench in their playoff series versus the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons. And then he was so impactful that once the Knicks went down 0-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals, he was inserted into the starting lineup. He didn't start all year, only played 17 regular season games, but then he was starting in the conference finals. And now that brings us to this season, where we see Mike Brown and the coaching staff of the New York Knicks being incredibly cautious with Mitchell Robinson again. They see his value, they see what he brings come playoff time, and it's most important that he's healthy at that time. So far this year, Mitchell Robinson has not played any back-to-backs. He has been on some pretty limited minutes. He hasn't played over 27 minutes in a single game yet this season. And again, it's working because now Mitchell Robinson is on pace to have his healthiest season in 5 seasons. And despite the downtick in minutes, Mitchell Robinson's impact is still at an all-time high. Right now, he's averaging a career low in minutes per game if you don't count the season he played only 17 games. And even though he's only playing less than 20 minutes per game, Mitchell Robinson is averaging 4.6 offensive rebounds, which is 3rd in the league. He is averaging 3.4 contested offensive rebounds, which is, again, 3rd in the entire league. And if you look at his per 36 numbers, he is averaging a staggering 8.3 offensive rebounds per 36 minutes. Insanity. And even when he doesn't get the offensive rebound and secures a second possession for the Knicks, he is so impactful on the offensive glass that just him being on the court changes how teams defend him. There are times where you see opposing bigs face guarding. I'm putting that in quotes. I don't even know if you can count it as that. But face guarding Mitchell Robinson for the box out, where they're not even paying attention what else is going on the court. Mitchell Robinson's in the dunker spot, and they're just looking straight at him, trying to box him out. Sometimes you also see teams send 2 players to box out Mitchell Robinson. And regardless, whichever way teams want to defend him, whether it's the face guard box out or the 2-man box out, it leaves the paint just open more for a Jalen Brunson drive, or it leaves an offensive rebound available for a guy like Josh Hart, who also is one of the better rebounders in the league. He also sets pretty solid screens. He rolls to the basket hard. He is a great lob threat. His athleticism and hands allow him to really catch a lot around the rim. So because of all of this encapsulated, Mitchell Robinson, surprising enough, has the highest offensive rating on the entire Knicks. He has an offensive rating of 146. Again, incredible value for a basically rim-running center. And I haven't even brought up his defensive impact, because although his counting stats like the blocks and the steals are down this year, again, he is still having a super high impact defensively and is a big reason why the Knicks were able to turn around their defense and have one of the best defenses in the entire NBA over the last month. So I mentioned that he has the highest offensive rating at a 146. He also has the highest defensive rating out of all of the Knicks at a 108. So you can, again, really see the impact that he brings. And I just feel like he is the perfect mix of strength, length, and quickness. I mentioned it when talking about the NBA Cup Finals matchup between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. I soloed in on Mitchell Robinson because I thought he is kind of the perfect defender for Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, there is no perfect defender for a guy like Wemby, but I kind of highlighted the idea that he has the strength to bang down low. He has the quickness to move on the perimeter. He has the length to contest those shots. And that is really what makes him such a high impact and versatile defender. Even the other night when the Knicks versus the Denver Nuggets, he was incredible on defense versus Nikola Jokic, guarding him on the perimeter, guarding him in the paint, walling him up, grabbing rebounds to close the possessions. He also got switched out on Jamal Murray and had a really high impactful stop in the fourth quarter against him, poking ball loose. And again, the mix of physical attributes that Mitchell Robinson has, along with just his defensive IQ and instincts, make him one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA. He's able to bang down low with bigs. He's able to switch out on the perimeter. He's able to give you a multitude of coverages in the pick and roll, whether it's him in drop coverage, him hedging, him icing the screen, whatever it is. He is able to do it defensively. And of course, Mitchell Robinson is not a perfect player. He has his flaws, as all players do. One of the most obvious ones is the hack-a-Mitch strategy that we've been seeing as of recent. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson struggles very much at the free throw line. For his career, he shoots 51% from the free throw line. So far on this year, he's shooting 38%, and that's including him having a stretch where he hit 10 free throws in a row, still only hitting 38%. So that is definitely a big struggle, and we've seen already in the playoffs and in the regular season, when it gets down to the end of quarters, sometimes Mitchell Robinson has to get pulled off the court because they do the hack-a-Mitch, and yeah, he just can't hit a free throw. And then obviously, as I mentioned throughout the entire part of this video and talking about the history of Mitchell Robinson, his health is also a very big issue. So far this year, he has been very healthy, but we've seen throughout his career it's been a struggle to stay healthy, and we all know the best ability is availability. If Mitchell Robinson is not healthy and able to be on the court, he can't give the Knicks all of these high impactful plays that he gives them. But again, when he is on the court, he is probably the most impactful role player in the entire NBA. He allows you to win the possession battle with his offensive rebounds. He increases your defensive intensity and versatility and the different coverages you can throw at different offenses. That obviously helps you win games. And it seems like he is a playoff riser without being a scorer, which again is super high impact. Mitchell Robinson is on an expiring contract, and it seems like the Knicks are going to do everything that they can to re-sign him. It will be pretty hard considering they are very close to that second apron, and they are really capped out with a lot of big contracts. But again, with the impact Mitch brings, he's almost irreplaceable. And obviously, I am a Knicks fan, but I'm interested to see what you guys think. Who do you think is the most impactful role player in the NBA? Do you agree with me? Is it Mitchell Robinson? Is it someone else? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.